you were part of a briefing with Pfizer as the company pushes to seek emergency use for a booster shot. The CDC and FDA then released a rare joint statement afterwards saying, at this time, the booster is not necessary for fully vaccinated Americans. There are reports that the government was blindsided, in fact, by the company's initial announcement last week about this. Why is Pfizer pushing for a third shot?
Well, I'm not so sure they're pushing for it. What they're doing is that they're looking at their data. They're looking at the data in Israel, and they're saying we want to be prepared, and we might even actually recommend that it's a good idea to get a third shot, namely a late booster compared to the prime boost that you get with the 2-dose vaccine regimen. People need to understand that pharmaceutical companies don't make the decisions. This becomes a regulatory issue with the FDA and a public health recommendation with the CDC and their Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices. The meeting that we had yesterday was really a courtesy meeting where Pfizer got down with us on a Zoom, the way we're talking now, and discussed their data, both the Israeli data and the data from their original phase 3 trial. Those data are a portion, a part of a larger puzzle that will get into and ultimately lead to any decision whether we will and when we will give a recommendation for a booster. But we're not there yet. And that's what the CDC and the FDA meant when they came out with their joint statement. They look at the data in real time. So they're going to be examining data as it comes in from other sources, taking into account the Pfizer data, but also the CDC has over 20 cohorts that they're following. That will be the source of important data that would go into any decision as to whether or not it's going to be recommended, and if so, when.
Well, is it an unwelcome distraction right now to be talking about a booster when your main focus has been why are 90 million Americans still not vaccinated? And with Delta variant out there, doesn't that make them, especially in some of these communities where we've seen so much of a surge lately, a petri dish for other variants?
Well, you're right on a couple of accounts, Andrea. First of all, you really do have to examine why you're talking about a booster for a fully vaccinated person when we have so many people in this country who are not vaccinated at all yet, particularly when we have a Delta variant circulating, and we're having over the last couple of weeks an increase in cases as opposed to what we were seeing as a decrease in cases over the prior month or more. The other issue that is confusing to people, when they hear that you might need a boost, they may get the impression that the vaccine is not effective. The requirement or not for a boost for a fully vaccinated person has absolutely nothing at all to do with the effectiveness of the vaccine. It has to do with the durability of the effectiveness. So people are saying, well, maybe these vaccines don't work if you're going to need a booster. No, not at all. These vaccines are highly, highly effective and safe. When you're talking about a boost, you're talking about how long that protection lasts.